Okay, we're going to call this take 2. I don't know what's going on with YouTube this morning. It started my live stream and then it stopped. So, hey babies, sit pretty, sit. But we're going to we'll call this take 2, and we are going to make a homemade chicken pot pie this morning. I don't know if it's my internet. I don't think so. Everything looks good on my side. But good morning. And as you can see, I'm in my bib overhaul dress this morning, but I had to put on some leggings because we have frost here this morning. So, good morning. Welcome to my kitchen. Happy Sunday. And we are going to make some pot pies. So that's what's on my agenda here. And I'm going to get my hands washed and we will get started. So hello, good morning. Take 2. I'm going to go ahead and heat my oven to 350. And I'm going to turn my exhaust fan on. I know it's noisy, but I'm going to turn it on. So, I'm going to be using just frozen pie crust this morning. I'm going to be cheating. So, I'm going to make this pretty quick this morning. So, I'm going to be doing 2 frozen pie crusts. I'll let them fall. So, we're going to be using those. I had rotisserie chicken and I have deboned it and I went ahead and shredded it. So we're going to be using this deboned shredded rotisserie chicken dinner. I'm going to be using just a glass pie pan this morning. And I'm going to be using 1 can of mixed vegetables and 1 can of cream of chicken noodle soup. So we're going to make a homemade chicken noodle pot, or a homemade chicken pot pie. This has been in a strange morning, so we will get through this. We will get through this. So I'm going to go ahead and get these open. And I did go ahead and this is my honey garlic that I'm fermenting. And on my live stream, the first live stream where I put it together was 2 days ago. And I had it upright for 24 hours yesterday. I burped it and turned it upside down for 24 hours. This morning I went ahead and flipped it back up to right side up and I burped it. And this will take 60 days to ferment. And this is the honey garlic. And I'm fermenting this because it's supposed to have a natural immune booster. So it helps you to not get as many colds. If you do have a cold, it won't last as long. And you can either eat the garlic plain or you can dice it up over food and eat the garlic that way. And then the honey you can take by a spoonful daily, and that'll help also to build your immune system. Or if you have a cough, it's supposed to be really good for a cough suppressant. So that's the honey garlic. I just wanted you to see how that was doing. So we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. I'm going to go ahead and open my cans. We're going to make a homemade chicken pot pie. So I have 1 can of mixed vegetables. I'm going to open those and drain them. So good morning if you're just coming in. Welcome to my kitchen. Happy Sunday morning, morning. I tried to do to set it up cream, and then my for some reason froze and went down. So this is take 2. But we're going to make it through this. We're going to make a homemade. So I'm going to just drain my mixed vegetables. And then I'm going to be using 1 can of cream of chicken soup. So I'm going to get me a spoon. And I'm going to move over here to a little work area. I'm still remodeling our kitchen. The half that I'm in right now, this part has not been remodeled yet. That side has been, and my new island that I'm on right now has been set. So I'm limited on space until we can get the whole kitchen remodeled. So I'm gaining both short. So I'm going to be putting this chicken pot pie together right here in my little handy dandy workspace. So let me make myself a little bit of room. And this is the homemade butter that I made on my live stream yesterday. And as you can see, we did have butter for dinner on the fresh homemade bread that I made the other day. And hubby said it was delicious. Okay, I got me a little spot cleared there, so let me get everything wiped off here, and we will get started. And we will make a homemade pot pie. As long as it don't shut down on me again. I'm not sure why it did that. YouTube's been acting strange lately. Or, I have no idea. Okay, so now I got me a nice little work area there. So we are going to make a chicken pot pie. And my husband loves homemade chicken pot pie. I don't know if you like chicken pot pie, but I love them and my husband loves them. And I'm going to be cheating a little bit today. I'm going to be using the frozen pie crust. And I had a rotisserie chicken that I shredded, so I'm going to be using this shredded chicken to put together my pie center. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pie center put together. I've got my can of the mixed vegetables drained. I'm going to open 1 can of cream of chicken soup. This is so fast, so easy. I'm just going to put my shredded chicken in the bowl. And that was just the leftover rotisserie chicken that I had from yesterday, or day before yesterday. And I just deboned it, and then I shredded it. So that's just my shredded chicken. And I'm making the center for my chicken pot pie. And this is so fast and so easy, and it's absolutely delicious. So now I'm going to add 1 can of mixed vegetables drained. And you can use any brand. And you probably hear my exhaust fan in the background. I'm preheating my oven. And now I'm going to add 1 can of cream of chicken. I don't know why my phone keeps going. I can get it secured there. We'll try that and we'll see if it stays. Everything is just not working this morning. The internet already turned me off on once, so this is my take 2. And this is just cream of chicken soup. And I wanted to get this done early because we're going to be working on the new property today. And I wanted to get this done early so whenever we're ready for dinner, I'll have dinner ready early. What's up, Granny? Good morning. How are you this morning? Good morning, Carlos. How are you this morning? So we are making a homemade chicken pot pie this morning. And I'm putting the filling together right now. So all I have in my filling bowl is I had a rotisserie chicken, and I shredded that chicken, deboned it. So I put my chicken in, 1 can of drained mixed vegetables, and 1 can of cream of chicken soup. So we're going to be making this is our filling. So the only other thing that I add to my is I like a little bit of garlic powder. So I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder in there. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with YouTube this morning. I started the live stream and then it just shut down. So this is take 2. Let me see if I can get that secured. I don't know. Hopefully I'm not making you seasick. If it keeps going, we're just going to leave it alone. Okay, I'm just going to mix this up. This is just the filling. I pop my center. And I'd love to just get a rotisserie chicken if I hurry. And my oven is now preheated. And we'll have the rotisserie chicken for dinner. And then I'll debone it. And my husband loves homemade chicken pot pie. And he likes a really thick center in his homemade chicken pot pie. So that's what we're doing here. It's basically all I have. Shredded chicken. I have 1 can of drained mixed vegetables and 1 can of cream of chicken soup. So just look how thick and rich that's going to be. I have a glass pie pan, and I'm cheating today, and I'm going to be using frozen pie crust that I've thawed. So, put this out of my way here. I'm just going to set that right there. And I'm looking for scissors. So I'm going to go ahead and get this pie crust rolled out. And let me see, I've got rolling pin. Get me a rolling pin. I've already washed my surface, so everything's clean and sanitized. So we are going to make a homemade chicken pot pie. I like to keep some frozen pie crust, so like today I'm in a hurry. And I know we're getting ready to go work on the property, and I just wanted to throw together a homemade chicken pot pie. So, I'm using the frozen pie crust. I'm cheating. This is not homemade pie crust. Now, I'm just going to use my, you know what, let me get me a piece of parchment paper. It's going to make it a little bit easier for me to just kind of roll everything out. So let me just do that on my parchment paper. Now I'm just going to try and roll this a little bit. I don't want it real big, but that's a pretty good sized pie pan. So I'm just making this a little bit bigger. And I'm going to be perfect there. I've got plenty of space, so I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to flip this right into my hot pan. So this is going to be very quick and very easy. I want to just stretch it a little bit, but I don't want to overstretch it. Just want to make sure I got plenty of pie crust. So I'm going to kind of secure it there to the edges so I can get my filling put in. And now I'm going to take this fork and I'm just going to put some holes in there, because that helps your pie crust to rise just a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my filling that I just put together, and it's going to be a very thick hot pie filling, because my husband likes a heavy duty thick hot pie filling. And I don't like to waste, so I'm going to get all of that down off of there. And then I'm just going to spread, just kind of spread that out a little bit and make everything nice and even. It's going to be a very thick, heavy duty chicken pot pie. Just a little bit more up there to the edges. Now if you wanted to salt and pepper, you could do that at this point, but I'm going to just, all I added was the chicken, 1 can of drained mixed vegetables, 1 can of cream of chicken. And I'm just going to get some water in my bowl to make it a little bit easier to clean. So that's going to be a nice, thick, healthy chicken pot pie. And as I am cheating, I'm just using the frozen pie crust this morning. I'm in a hurry today, but I want to make sure that when we come back this evening, I have dinner ready. So I'm making hubby a chicken pot pie for dinner. And then we can just come home and warm it up in the microwave, and we will have a quick dinner. So I'm using the frozen pie crust today. I just let them set out and thaw this morning. And now I'm going to just put my top together. And this is a pretty large pie pan, so I'm just using the rolling pin to stretch it out a little bit, just to make sure I have plenty of pie dough to pie crust to cover that top. Now I'm just going to flip that that upside down. And I'm going to get it on my pie. Now, what I like to do is I like to take these two and I want to put them together and squeeze, and then I'm going to fold it down under. So again, I'm picking up and I'm just folding that under, squeezing it together because I want to keep all my goodies together. This is so quick and so easy. I'm hoping you can see there what I'm doing. I'm just picking that up, pinching these together, folding it under to make a really nice crust. Pinching it together, folding it under. This is so quick, it's so easy, and everything just tastes better when it's homemade. And it's made with love. That way I know all of my goodies is going to stay in my pie. So now I'm just going to go around and I'm going to kind of take my fingers and I'm just going to kind of bring all that extra pie dough, pie crust, right up to the edge there, so I know it's going to be secure on my pan, on my pie pan. Now I'm going to go around and I'm going to do just a little bit of decorating on my crust. And I'm just going to take my two fingers and I'm going to push in with my fingers and then push through with my thumb. And just make a little decoration on the crust. So I'm putting my two fingers in and pushing through with my thumb. Nothing fancy. Just a simple, basic pie crust. Let's see if I can get a little bit more dough up in there. That one looked a little bit weak right there. Okay, so now I went all the way around and just basically got a simple pie crust decoration. Nothing fancy here. And I want to make sure I have an air space for my pie so when it rises, it'll be able to expand. So, believe me, I'm not perfect, but I'm going to try and get close to the center. And I'm just going to kind of get me some nice cuts in here. This will just give it some room for expansion. And trust me, it is not perfect. I'm not perfect, and I don't try to be. I just want to have some air expansion pockets there for the center. Make that one a little bit bigger. And that way I know whenever my pie's rising, I'll have somewhere for that to rise and expand. Now the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little egg wash on my pie crust to help it brown, and it'll give it a nice brown, and it'll give it like a nice shine as well. So I'm just going to use one extra large egg. Now you can add a little bit of water to this if you want to weaken it down. And I'm just basically going to mix that up, just kind of whisk it up a little bit. And I think this makes such an absolutely beautiful pie crust. Got that whisked up really good. So now I'm just going to take my brush and I'm just going to brush my egg wash all over my crust. And I want to make sure that I get the outsides really good. I want to get all of my crust. And this gives it such a pretty, it browns so pretty, and it gives it such a nice little glaze. A nice glaze finish. Especially if you're using, like me today, a frozen pie crust. And you can probably hear my exhaust fan in the back. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And I'm just trying to get this done because we're going to need a quick dinner this evening because we're going to be working on the property some today, on the new property. So this way we can just come in and grab a quick dinner. It'll already be baked. All I have to do is warm everything up and we have a quick dinner. And I love chicken pot pie, and I thought that would be a perfect Sunday dinner, homemade chicken pot pie. Now I'm just going to go all the way around those edges, make sure I got all my edges. And this is just basically one egg, and I whisk it up real good, and I'm just doing a egg wash on the pie crust. It makes it so pretty. Now, since I'm going to be baking this, and I know my oven does bake hot, I'm going to be baking this on a cookie sheet lined with aluminum foil. And I'm just going to kind of go around and make sure I don't have any egg wash on the sides there before I put it in the oven. Now I'm going to put this in the oven and I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees until it is golden brown and it is done. So let me go ahead and get this in the oven. I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees. So, we got it in the oven. The way this morning was going, I keep freezing up. If I'm freezing up, I'm sorry. It's already shut me off once this morning. It's cold and frosty here this morning in Ohio. We had a little bit of frost this morning. So, I wanted to get a chicken pot pie in the oven, and I'm going to show you something that just came in. I ordered it, and I'm so excited. So I want to show you what I just got in. And I always wait until something goes on sale. I've been watching these. I've been monitoring the prices, and I knew that I wanted this so bad. But I try to stay on my budget, and all of a sudden I seen an amazing price. They have a clearance price right now. And I'm so excited, and I ordered them, and they just come in yesterday. So I'm going to move you over here, and we're going to take a look at this. Amazing. I'm glad. I waited probably a year or longer for this to go on sale. And with prices as high as they are, when I was going to the grocery store and buying different things for baking, I could not believe the prices and how high everything has risen. It's doubled. A lot of it's almost doubled in price. So, I ordered this. It came in yesterday, and I'm very excited. I got a set of the glass jars, and you probably already know what I will be making in this. When I went to the store to pick up vanilla extract, I could not believe the price. So, I was waiting for these little bottles to come on sale, and Walmart right now has a clearance price on these little bottles, and I'm going to be making my own vanilla extract. I ordered these bottles, and then I ordered the vanilla beans. The vanilla beans have not come in yet, but my bottles have come in, and I'm going to be getting them all cleaned up and sanitized. And whenever the vanilla beans arrive, we're going to I'll do a live stream, and we'll make some homemade vanilla extract. And this kit came with 2, 4, 6, 8 of the bottles. And they do have the glass top. They do have the really nice seals. And this kit came with extra seals. So if something would happen to one of your seals, it did come with replacement seals. It came with 1, 2 funnels. So when you're making your vanilla extract, you've got your funnels. So you're not going to be making a mess, and you don't have to go looking for a funnel. It came in the kit. It also came with the little pour spouts. If you want to use it, came with one of those. If you want to just have your jar out and use your pour spout. Actually, it came with two. Sorry, I apologize. It came with two of the pour spouts. And it came with labels. So once I get my vanilla extract made, I can put, and they're just really cute little black labels. And it came with a little white marker, so I can write vanilla extract or whatever I'm putting in my little jars. So it came with labels. It came with the 8 jars. And I think these are 8-ounce jars. And I got these through Walmart. And Walmart right now has a clearance on them. So if you've been watching for these to go on sale, they finally went on sale. And I've been watching the price for probably a year. And I like to stay in my budget. And these drop down to a clearance at Walmart. And it comes in, there's 8 in the box. They come very nicely packed. It's got the styrofoam where each one's sitting down in the styrofoam. Let me get one down here closer where you can see. And then it had the styrofoam on the top. It's very nicely packed, so easy for storage. And it did come in the set of 8. So I'm going to be making some homemade vanilla extract. And I kept watching again, like I said, for the price to drop because I'm trying to always try to stay in my budget. And the other day when I was looking, I seen they were on special. They were on a clearance, so there is 8 bottles in this kit. There is the label and the marker. It has the little black labels. I don't know if you can see those, and they're kind of decorative. Some of them are, I don't know if I can get the light where you can, maybe there you can see. It has the individual labels, so you can write on your labels. Has the little white marker to write on your labels. It came with 2 little funnels, collapsible funnels, which I think is amazing. It came with extra seals in case something would happen to your seals. It gave you 8 extra seals in this kit. It gave you 2 of the pour spouts if you wanted to put that on your jar and use your pour spout. So this is a very nice kit. I was excited. It came yesterday. So with, like I said, with prices so high, I went to pick up this small, and this is a 4-ounce bottle. This is an 8-ounce bottle. So you can see how much more I'm going to be making by making it myself. And it's very easy to make your own vanilla extract. All you need is a 35% to 70% alcohol. So you can either use a vodka or a bourbon. I'm going to use a bourbon. And so I'll be picking up some bourbon, and it has to be 35% to 70%. And then you need your little jar. And then you have your vanilla beans. And I have my vanilla beans ordered. They haven't come in yet. So as soon as they come in, we will do a live stream together. And I will be putting together some homemade vanilla extract. And for the price I paid for 4 ounces of vanilla extract, I know I can make it myself. I can make several bottles. And then if I want to make one large bottle, I can just make a larger bottle and then transfer it over to these. I have extra beans, and it's getting to the point where my vanilla beans may be going to start to dry out. I can make a large batch and then just transfer them over into these bottles. and they will last years and years. And that's going to eliminate me buying something else from the grocery store, depending on something else from the grocery store, and paying right now the outrageous price that I'm paying for this vanilla extract. I'll have to look up the price, and I'll put the price in my description down below, exactly what I paid for this. I got it at Walmart, and it's just the pure vanilla extract, 4 ounces, and I'm thinking it was around $12 or $13 for 4 ounces of vanilla extract. So I'm going to be making it myself now. I'm not going to be paying that price. I'm trying to stay in a budget, and we have the new property, and we're going to be setting everything up, so we're going to have extra expenses. So this is another way that I'm going to be saving money, and I know that there's no extra additives. It'll just be the vanilla bean and the 35 to 70% alcohol, which will be either vodka or a bourbon, and I will be making my own vanilla extract. So as soon as the vanilla beans come in, these just arrived yesterday, and like I said, I've been watching for this particular kit for the price to drop at Walmart, and they are now running a special on these. They're running a clearance special. So if you're interested in something like this, these just arrived yesterday. There's 8-ounce bottles. I think that's what these are. And it doesn't give me any information on it, so I'm going to look on my order and see how many ounces this was. I'll put it in my description below, but I'm thinking these are 6 or 8 ounces versus the 4 ounces of vanilla extract. So you can see comparing the difference. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And not only can you make your vanilla extracts, but you can make any flavor extract. If you want cinnamon, if you want lemon, you can make your own extracts at home. As long as you have your jar to store it in, and you are following USDA guidelines, and you're doing it properly, it's safe and it'll last for years. So I'm excited. I wanted to show you that. So, and it did come in a kit of 8. So there's 8 bottles. There's the 2 pour spouts. There's the 2 collapsible funnels. It came with labels, so I can label the jar, and a label marker, so I can write on my labels. So it's a nice little kit, and it did finally come on sale at Walmart, and whenever I seen that clearance price, I ordered them, and everything came in really nice, nothing broken. It was very well packed, and it was a very quick delivery. So if you're interested in something like this, right now they are on special. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I did find those at a special price at Walmart. Because I don't know about you, but every time I go to the grocery store, I cannot believe the prices and how everything is getting higher and higher. So if I can save myself and my household a little bit of money by making my own, that's what I'm going to do. And I love to do as much as I can at home. My preserving, my fermenting, my dehydrating. So this will be the first time that I've made my own vanilla extract, and I'll bring you along for that journey. So as soon as the vanilla beans come in, I'll do a live stream, and we will put together some vanilla extract in these jars. And I think these are really nice. I like the little glass tops on them. It's not plastic. They seal very nice. You can hear that. They did send the extra set of seals in case something would happen and you would need a new seal. And right now they are on sale. So I'm staying in my budget and I'm saving money by waiting until they went on sale. And now I can make my own extract. I'm going to start off with the vanilla, and then I'm probably going to do some cinnamon extract. And so I'm excited. I thought I would share that with you. And it comes in a kit of 8. And then again, it has the labels, 8 labels. I think there's 8. Let me see. Actually, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 12 labels. It comes with 12 labels. It comes with the marker to write on your labels. The 2 collapsible funnels. The 2 pour spouts. And 8, I believe there's 8 in here. Let me shake them around here a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, there's 3. I'm only counting 7. And I haven't opened that. So 1, 2, 3. Unless there's some stuck together. 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, 7, 8. There's 8. I had one stuck together. So it does come with 8 replacement seals. What are those glass bottles called? When I went to Walmart to look it up, I just typed in vanilla extract bottles for making glass bottles to make vanilla extract. And whenever I type that in, this is what come up on the search. And I think these are either 6 or 8 ounce bottles, and it came in a kit of 8. So I'm not sure what they're called. I'll have to go back and look, and I'll put all of that in my description down below after my live stream is done today. Thank you so much. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. So, you know, if I can save my household money, this is keeping me way within my budget, and I can make my own vanilla extract, my own cinnamon, any extract that I want to make. And I know that it's all natural. All I have in there is the vanilla beans that I ordered. And then these 35 to 70% alcohol. It has to be within that range. And then it can be either like a vodka, a clear vodka, or it can be a bourbon. And I'm going to try mine with bourbon. And my vanilla beans have not arrived yet. So I did order a bulk size bag of the vanilla beans. So when they come in, I'm going to go ahead and do a live stream, and I'll show you how I put this vanilla extract together. So that'll give me time to wash and sanitize all my bottles and have them ready. And then when that comes in, I'll do a live stream making homemade vanilla extract. And I'm pretty sure this was close to $7 or to $12. That'll be great. Thank you. But prices are high, and I know that it's high. And if your household is like mine, we're on a limited income, so I try to stay in a budget. So by doing things like this, and I know that once I do it, they say for the best flavor, the longer it sets, the better it's going to taste. So, and then they said if you notice, like after 3 to 5 years, that the flavor is not as strong, then you can just add more alcohol, and you can add more of your vanilla beans. But it will last for years and years. This will probably outlast me in my lifetime when I do a bulk vanilla extract. I don't know, I do a lot of baking, so this is going to just be saving me money and saving my household money. And everywhere that you can save nowadays, I think is amazing. So I wanted to show you that kit that just came in. And I'm going to check on my pot pie. I'm making a pot pie this morning. Oh, that's starting to look really good. I'll show you what we've got so far. It's getting there. And I did use a frozen crust today. I did cheat. That is not homemade. That's not homemade crust. And then here is another thing that I was showing. And I've been making, I love to ferment. And 2 days ago I started this fermenting. And this is a honey and garlic. And the reason I'm doing this fermenting is it's supposed to be a natural immune builder. So if you get colds in the cold season, this is supposed to help you get less colds. If you do have a cold and you're taking it, it's supposed to decrease the length of time that you do have a cold. And it's also supposed to help with inflammation. And I have a lot of inflammation. And it's also supposed to help with sinuses. So it takes 60 days for this to ferment. So I put it together day before yesterday. And you need at least 8 fresh cloves peeled, and you slightly crush them to release the anisine M, because that's going to help with this whole process. That's the natural nutrient that the garlic is putting out that you're going to need. And then you have to have 100% raw, unfiltered honey. So after 60 days of fermenting, but the first day, once you get everything together, you'll leave it upright. And then in 24 hours, you'll come in and open your lid and burp it. Let the air out, because it is fermenting. Then you'll put your lid on tight. So I did that yesterday after 24 hours, we did the burp. And then you turn it upside down on the second day. This is allowing everything to get through the honey all the way through your garlic. So you leave it then for the next 24 hours upside down. And then yesterday on my live stream, we had turned it upside down after my burp. So this morning, after 24 hours, I come in and I turned it right side up and I did my burp. And now I'll leave this right side up for 24 hours. And I'll just repeat this for 60 days. And this is good for 1 year. So if you have a cough and you take a teaspoon of the honey mixture, it's supposed to be like a cough suppressant. It's supposed to help with inflammation, sinuses, and if you do that daily, it's supposed to help build your immune system. And then the garlic that's in here, you can just eat it plain. You can chop it up and add it to whatever food that you would be making. And then it's a natural immune builder. So I love to ferment, and I love honey, and I love garlic. And most likely as a child, my grandmother was a Mennonite, and she had a lot of her home fermenting and home remedies. I probably had this as a child, but I just didn't know what it was. But most likely, because my grandmother was always giving us, something that she had a home remedy that she had made. And they always worked. So most likely as a child, I probably had this. Do you sell any of it? No, I'm not selling any of it. What else do you put in the bottles you make? You can, in these bottles, you can put anything that you wanted to put in them. If you just wanted to use these for your regular kitchen stuff, you could put whatever, vinegar, oil, whatever you'd want to put in them. But if I'm going to be fermenting, of course I'm going to do the vanilla extract first, And then I'm probably going to do some cinnamon. But when I do the cinnamon, because the cinnamon sticks are so large and these bottles are small at the top, very tiny, I don't want to try and cram the cinnamon sticks down in there and then I'm not going to get them back out. So what I'll do with the cinnamon sticks is I'll use like a pint jar, and I'll go ahead and put my cinnamon sticks in it and put my 35 to 70% alcohol, either the vodka or the bourbon, in with the cinnamon sticks. And then once, you know, they have went through their process, then I will go ahead and pour that cinnamon extract into one of these bottles. And then that will free up this. So you can do any flavor extract that you would like to make in the bottles. So they're going to come in very handy. And they were not expensive. Like I said, right now they are on sale. And trying to pull down my strap. I've just got my straps tucked down in, and this strap keeps slipping on me. Where do I buy my honey? I bought that honey this is the honey that I use, and I just picked this up through Walmart. And it is, just make sure that it's 100% raw and unfiltered honey. It must be 100% raw and unfiltered. So I just picked this up through Walmart, and I actually ordered it through Walmart and it was delivered by FedEx. I ordered, I think, four of these, and these are 40 ounce. And this is just 100% raw and unfiltered. And I ordered that through Walmart. And like I said, it was delivered like in a day or two, and I think it came through FedEx. So, yeah, you can go to Walmart, and I'm sure that they have this at Walmart. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So, that's the honey that I'm using. I wanted to make sure that it was 100% pure honey, and that it was unfiltered. Now, a lot of your local, like vegetable stands will have local honey, and it will be raw and unfiltered. And I have allergies, a lot of allergies in the summer. And when I want to use honey on a regular basis, if I just go buy honey and I'm trying to take that honey and want it to help me with my allergies, it's not really going to help me that much, because when your bees are pollinating, they're using all of the different plants and flowers to get the nectar to produce the honey in their own local area. So every spring, like now, whenever my fruit stands and stuff start to open up, they will carry the local raw natural honey. Now I will go get that, and by me just taking a spoonful by itself or putting it over whatever I'm eating, because of that local honey, it does help with my allergies, because that is what the bees are pollinating, and it all kind of works together and brings it all back together. So I use that, and it does seem to help me. Now that's me personally, so please do your own research, because my body may be different than your body. And I am also I love honey, but I am extremely, extremely allergic to honeybees. So even if I had my own place, I cannot have my own honeybees, because I have to carry the EpiPens, and I go into anaphylactic shock, which means all of my airway will close up if I get stung by a bee. So I usually just go to my local markets whenever they come in, and the fruit markets normally carry your local honey, and that way if you do have allergies, it may help you as well. But again, do your own research. I can't even remember. I think I found that out through my own research. And it does seem to help me personally. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to, going to work for everybody. And I'm by no means a doctor. And I'm not giving out any medical advice on either one of these. But these are just things that I like to do. And I've not done the honey garlic. But I do know that the local honey does help me with my allergies, me personally. And I also use a lot of honey in my cooking and baking, so I love the honey. I'm trying to heal myself, and I know I have high inflammation. Now see, I have high inflammation, and every time I went to the doctor for like the last year and a half, and he does blood work, he keeps saying, Tammy, we still have inflammation. And of course we've been running different tests. And of course I'm getting older, not getting any younger. And so I do have inflammation. So I'm hoping that using this natural honey with the garlic, and it's supposed to help with inflammation. Now, I haven't tried it yet, so I'll let you know what my personal and honest opinion is. And of course, do your own research. And you can look this up online. That's what I did. YouTube has multiple videos on the honey and garlic and fermenting it, and then what the values of it are and what it's supposed to be good for. But always use your own information, your own research, and I did a lot of research on this, and I wanted to make sure that it did follow the USDA guidelines, and it does. So when I'm fermenting or preserving in any way, I want to make sure that I am within the USDA guidelines, because I don't want to make myself sick or any member of my family that would be trying something. So again, always do your own research, and always check and double check, and I always want to make sure that I have everything covered. So, but this is I like this brand. It is a natural raw honey, and then I do have, I think I used up the last of my natural honey, because now we're in spring, and my local fruits and vegetable stands are now already starting to have their flowers and their plants. So they'll automatically start having their raw honey that is local, and it's a local honey. And then they'll have also like different preserves and different things that they have local, and they're all certified, and it's all good. So every year I always go down and visit the stand, and they know what I'm coming for. They're used to my face, and they're just amazing. So I'm going to try that for the inflammation. And I have a lot of problems with my hands from past surgeries. I had to have a really major surgery done, and it affected both of my hands and my arm movements. So that was, I never fully recovered 100% of the arm movements or the hand movements. And a lot of mornings when I'm trying to do things, I'll always, let people know my hands just don't work like they used to. But, I like coming on and sharing what I have researched and, what I'm learning, and pass it on. My daughter really wanted me to do these live streams, so she has this, so she can go back and refer to it. And a lot of my recipes, I don't have a recipe for. I was born and raised in West Virginia, and a lot of our recipes is just, we don't have a recipe. It's a pinch of this and a dab of that, and just mush it all together. And my daughter's trying to write all this down, so normally, she loves to come and she's in the kitchen with me, and she'll do the recipe with me several times, and then when she's going to go do it on her own, of course she'll call me, and she'll be in the grocery store. Now, Mom, what all do I need? And then when she gets home, she'll FaceTime me, so we want a video. And then she's like, Mom, now take me through this recipe step by step. Well, I'm in Georgia, so I can relate. Okay. Yeah, so that way, you know, she's got me on video, and she said, that way, Mom, it's like you're in my kitchen, I'm in your kitchen, and we're doing it together. And she said, Mom, would you please, since you have a YouTube channel, would you go on there and do some of your recipes so I can always just pull it up? She lives in another state. She's about 3.5 hours away from me. So it's a little inconvenient for us to just jump in the car and go next door and, you know, be in each other's kitchen. So I basically did this for my daughter. And of course I have 4 grandchildren and now a great-granddaughter. So I'm just kind of hoping that passing on these recipes that I really don't have a written recipe for, but it's something that over generations, like my Mennonite grandmother may have made, or my mom, the lady I call Mom. My mother passed away when I was 3 years old, and I had an amazing older sister, and she took myself and my 4 other siblings all in and then raised us as a family. So I was only 3, and I've called her Mom all my life, and to this day I still call her Mom. And I think she would probably be upset if I didn't call her Mom. But she is my older sister. So she had 10 altogether in the household. There was 5 of us, and then she had 3 children of her own, and then her and her husband, so it was a household of 10. So she did a lot of preserving. We had a large garden, and every year she would can tomatoes and corn and green beans, and she taught us how to preserve. And then we had homemade jams and jellies, and our fruits were canned. And so all of that was passed down through generations. Your sister is a saint. She was only 18 years old and had a newborn. Yes, she is a saint. 18 years old and had a newborn and took on 5 children. My baby sister was 2. I was 3. The next one up, I think she was 4 or 5. I think she was 4. One brother was 5, and my oldest sibling was 11. So she took all of that on at 18 years old with a newborn. And I asked her many, many times, how did you do that? You know, where did your patience come from? And she said, I don't know. She said there was mornings that I would wake up and I would wonder, how, you know, what am I going to feed everybody? So a lot of the meals that we had, we thought were absolutely amazing, and I still make them today. But it was meals that she could make that she could stretch a long ways, like a pasta. We would have like a macaroni, and then sometimes she would just have a jar of her preserved tomatoes, and she would add that into the cooked pasta and maybe sweeten it a little bit. And we just loved it, and I still make it today. And when she made meatloaf, she used fillers, and it would stretch. And every type of potato, we had canned, preserved potatoes. We had mashed potatoes, cooked potatoes, fried potatoes, any way that you could stretch potatoes. So, and a lot of those recipes, she would just add this, a pinch of this, a dab of that, and then I would go to my grandmother's, who was a Mennonite, and she had some things on a recipe. So if I really wanted a recipe, I would go to my grandmother's, and if she made something, I would write it down. I'd say, now wait, how much of that are you putting in, Grandma? And she would tell me, and then I would write it down, because she had just done it, so many years, but she did have a lot of recipes that were written down, and she passed those on to me. So that's one reason that I do come on, the main reason that I do come on and do videos if I'm cooking or baking, if I'm preserving, if I'm making jams or jellies. Um, I was making homemade noodles. I made the homemade fettuccine noodles, and I did a live stream while I was making these. And of course, these I did use a pasta maker to help speed it up because my hands are getting to, it's getting harder for me to do it. But I did one video where I actually did all by hand using the crank pasta maker. And I did a video live. One of my lives is making making pasta with using the pasta maker. So here's some of the pasta. So any way that I can, save, and I'm still passing on to my daughter and my grandchildren, my great granddaughter. I'm passing on traditions from West Virginia that I have had instilled in me from a child. I can remember standing on a little chair in the kitchen as my sister, that I call Mom, was baking and cooking. And same thing with my grandmother. Well, I'd love to go up and stay for, a week or longer, because we would be out in the garden and she'd show us how to plant, and then, how to, once you got your garden planted, how did you care for the garden? And I can remember her singing, her hair up in her little bun and her dress on and her apron, and we were out in the garden and she was singing a song, and it had to do with the garden. And every time, even as an adult, even now, if I go out in the garden, I can go right back to that moment, and I can hear my grandmother sing. I go to the garden alone. I go to the garden alone is the name of the song. While the dew is still on the roses, but he walks with me and he talks with me and he tells me that I am his own. She was singing that day when we were in the garden, and I have it. It's and there's times that I'll feel like I really can't get something done, and those memories come back. So that's basically what I'm doing when I'm sharing on my YouTube channel. And yes, I'm from West Virginia, and we had a lot of really good Southern cooking, and anytime you went to your grandmother's, it smelled like a bakery. You could smell all the pies and cookies, and it was just amazing. We loved going to Grandma's on the weekend, on Sunday, to visit, and I used to love to go stay with her for a week at a time. And she didn't even have the inside bathroom for years, so I went to the outhouse with a flashlight, and I was scared to death, because I'm scared to death of snakes, I'm scared to death of spiders, and she would tell me, here, just take a flashlight and it'll be okay. Well, I would take the flashlight and go to the outhouse. So yes, I know what an outhouse is, and we used an outhouse. So up until her very last years, probably the last 10, 20 years of her life, she didn't even have an indoor bathroom. So, yes, I'm from West Virginia, and it is a beautiful state, and it has the most amazing people. And the things that you learn, you can pass on to another generation, and that's what I'm hoping to do with my videos. So they're also used as a teaching and learning as well. Your garden loves music. That's what my grandmother said. My grandmother said, your garden loves music. But I'll never forget that. I can see her right now out there in her little dress and her little apron and her bun and her little net over her bun, and she was singing, and she was just working in the garden, and it was real early in the morning, and that has stuck with me for my lifetime. So I also yesterday on a live stream, I milled my own flour because I do the sourdough bread, And so I have a stone mill grinder, so I did grind some hard white wheat berries. So if you want to go back and look at that, of course it's loud. Trigger warning. I thought I could turn down my volume. Apparently when I'm doing a live stream I have to mute. So I'm new at this, so you'll have to be patient with me. So I did do that yesterday. And then here is the flour that I milled. And I just milled some because I was feeding my sourdough starter for my sourdough. And I have made the sourdough on some of my live streams. And as a matter of fact, here's one of the loaves of the sourdough. And I was looking to make a soft loaf. And this turned out so soft. Look at that. So this is one of my sourdough breads that I made. So I'm just basically using my channel to hopefully help people to try new things. And then yesterday I made homemade butter. And as you can see, we were enjoying some homemade butter on some sourdough bread yesterday. And I used this little kit yesterday and I was showing you how to make homemade butter. It's so easy. You need one ingredient in 15 minutes and you can make your own homemade butter. And then I have it in this little butter crock that came with my kit, and I was using the Amish Churn and Turn Pro kit, butter making kit, and it was very inexpensive. Well, I wish I could buy some jam from you and your sourdough bread. I actually did a video making some jam, so it's one of my live streams. You'll probably see the little jars of jam, and I have the ball jelly and jam maker. Now I'm not sure if they still make those anymore, because I might have a couple years on me, but I've had it for many years, and I absolutely love making my jelly and jam in it, because I just add everything to it, turn it on, and it beeps when it's done, and then I just put it in my jars. So I did a live stream on that one. I've done live streams on making the sourdough bread, and then I also did a live stream, several live streams, when I was making this from scratch. And this is your sourdough starter, which is basically a natural yeast. So I have live streams. If you go back and look, you'll probably see the sourdough starter, and you'll see probably one of my hard berry, wheat berries sitting with it, and probably my grain meal. And I started the sourdough starter from scratch, and I took you through day 1. The next day I showed you what to do on day 2, and I went clear up through day 5, where this was a nice, bubbly, and healthy starter from scratch. And this is the actual starter that I made. And then it was put in the refrigerator. So now I know that this is very active, and it's great. So if I'm not using it, I'll just put it in the refrigerator and it'll go dormant. And then when I want to make sourdough bread, I just go in that morning and take it out like I did this morning. I'll let it warm up, and then I'll take a discard out. And I do save my discard. I don't throw my discard away. So whatever I'm taking out, I will put it into a jar, to my what is called my discard jar. Because this can be used to make pancakes and biscuits and anything that you would use yeast for, because this is a natural yeast. And then once I get a large amount of discard, because I know this won't last, a long period of time, I will actually freeze my discard and put it in my freezer. And how I do that is I ordered these little butter molds. And I'll just pour my discard into one of my little butter molds. And then I'll just freeze it. And then once it's frozen, I'll take it out of my butter mold and then just put them in a Ziploc baggie and put them back in my freezer. I got hair everywhere. Put them in my freezer. And I know that each one of these is a half a cup because it's the same as a stick of butter. So when I have the extra discard, now I'm not freezing my sourdough starter, but when I'm discarding, I'll take out and I'll put it into another jar, and then once this jar gets full, I'll go ahead and put them in these. I think I have some in the freezer. Let me go check. Yes, I have some in my freezer. And I'll make sure that I put on my bag that this is sourdough discard, so I don't accidentally think that that is a stick of homemade batter. And you can see the little lines that it leaves, so when I make my homemade butter, like I did yesterday, if I want to make extra butter, I can go ahead and put it into my butter mold, and then I'll freeze the homemade butter. And just like your store-bought butter, mine has little lines. I know each one of these is a tablespoon. So this is equal to 1/2 cup, just like a stick of butter would be. And normally when you're making something from a sourdough discard, if you're making pancakes or biscuits, you normally use about 1/2 cup of discard. So that works out perfect. And I just store it in the freezer. And then also, if something would happen to my discard or to my sourdough starter, I can always go to the freezer and take out one of these and put it in a jar, let it warm up, and then I can start feeding this again. And this will actively, because it was a discard from my starter, this will regenerate and come back, and then this will become a starter again if for some reason I would lose my original starter. So it may not be exactly the same because this is discard, but I don't leave my discard in the refrigerator very long, and then I go ahead and freeze it. And when I'm wanting to make pancakes or biscuits or whatever, I'll just go in and get one of these out of the freezer and let it thaw, and I have my natural yeast. So that's what I do with my discarded sourdough starter. So I'm constantly rotating and I'm saving it. It's not going to waste. And then I'm using this. It's absolutely amazing when I make waffles or pancakes or biscuits. It is amazing. So that's what I use for my yeast. Anything you want to make yeast for. So, you know, that's the way I do it, you know. And of course, I was raised not to waste, you know. So I try not to be wasteful. And, you know, as I got older, it was really easy to become wasteful. It was really easy just to run to the store and buy a loaf of bread. And then as I got older, I missed the sourdough bread. I missed the homemade sandwich bread. And this is the homemade, just plain white homemade sandwich bread that I made. And I sliced into that loaf yesterday to try the new fresh butter that I made, and I put it on the slice of my homemade white sandwich bread. So, you know, it's easy to get into that. I'll just go to the store and buy a loaf. But if I'm doing it at home, I know that my sourdough bread is all natural. I know my sandwich bread's natural. I know that my butter has no preservatives. It's just one ingredient, and that's a heavy whipping cream, and 15 minutes to churn it. I know that the ingredients that are going into my sourdough, I know that I am using my own ground wheat berries, and this would be the hard white wheat berries that I grind into flour. And then I have the soft white wheat berries that I'll use. The hard white wheat berries you need for bread. If you're going to be making bread, you want a hard white wheat berry. If you're going to be making, like, say, banana bread or zucchini bread, any quick bread, then you're going to want to use what's a soft white wheat berry. So this would be for your desserts or for your soft quick breads. So your banana bread, your zucchini bread, applesauce bread, you'd want to use your soft white wheat berries and grind it into your natural flour. Now I also use the soft white wheat berries if I'm going to be making something like the noodles, whenever I'm making my homemade noodles. But if I already have all-purpose flour, I'm going to go ahead and use my all-purpose flour and save my wheat berries for more bread making, and I'll use the store-bought all-purpose unbleached flour to make any of my homemade pastas. And this is the gallon of the fettuccine that I made on one of my live streams. And I think that one was making homemade pasta using a pasta maker. I think the pasta maker was a Pasta and Beyond. You're very talented. Oh, well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put these back in the freezer. I don't want to leave those out. So that is recycling. I'm taking it from the berry. I'm grinding it into the flour. I'm adding the flour into my starter, my sourdough starter. And then I'm turning my sourdough starter into beautiful loaves of sourdough bread. And then anything that I have to discard, I'm discarding, and I'm freezing it in the little butter molds. I'm putting it in the freezer. And then I'm using this to make anything that, like pancakes, waffles, biscuits. And I always make sure that I label it that this is sourdough discard, so I know that this is not butter. This is not like a garlic butter that I've flavored and made from homemade butter, because I do make my own homemade butter as well. So that way I'm constantly rotating, and I like to use my channel for things like this, so I can help my daughter to feel better and more at ease if she's in the kitchen and she wants to try something. It's like I'm there with her, and she wanted me to do this, so I'm doing this for my daughter, and she's so appreciative. And she said, that way, Mom, I can just put on one of your videos no matter what I'm making, and it's like you're right here in the kitchen with me, and we're going through it step by step. And if I get overwhelmed, I can pause and rewind, and we can go back through it. So that's basically why you see me on here cooking and baking. So I'm sharing recipes, and hopefully I'm a teaching channel as well, as I'm passing on these old-time West Virginia recipes that I was born and raised in West Virginia, and these were some of the recipes that we were taught as children growing up in the kitchen with our mom, with our grandmother, with our aunts, with our, our whole family, because when we had a gathering, it was multiple aunts and my grandmother had, I think, 11 children and raised 2. So there was 13 children in my grandmother's home throughout her raising children. So we had a very large family. And our combined family that I lived in, we had a household of 10. So we learned to do things like this and to save money and to pass it on to the next generation. I'm going to put this back in my freezer. I'm going to check on that chicken pot pie, that's what we were doing today. We're making chicken pot pie. So let me move this out of my way. I'm going to need a cooling rack. I'm going to put my sourdough starter back over here. And this is such a healthy sourdough starter. It's had all natural wheat berry flours that was ground. And that's my starter. I'm going to put my discard, and you can see I only have a little bit of discard, and you can see where I froze. That was, I think, 5 of the butter molds, and these I got off of Amazon. They were very inexpensive, and these even have the little lines in them, just like on your butter. Each one of those is a tablespoon. So I thought that was really nice. So when I make homemade butter and put it in my mold, it does have the lines. So if I'm cutting, I know each line is a tablespoon, just like the store-bought butter. And I'm freezing my sourdough discard in the butter molds. That way I'm not wasting any of the sourdough starter. And anytime I want something, I want to make pancakes, if I'm going to make biscuits, if I'm going to make waffles, if anything that I'm going to need my sourdough discard for, I'll just go to the freezer and get one of my frozen sourdough discards out, let it thaw, and I know that each one of these is exactly a half a cup, just like a stick of butter. So I'll put this away and I will check that chicken pot pie. And of course, we love our sourdough bread. And I love this new recipe I was trying. Just look how soft that bread is. I mean, that crust is so soft. I don't know if I can. It's kind of got the label right in there, but it has a nice bubbling. And I just did a live stream on that the other day. So if you want to see that, it's on a live stream where I was making a soft sourdough bread crust. And now, oh, we have a pot pie. And just look at that amazing pot pie. I'm hoping that you can see that. And there's our homemade chicken pot pie. So, that will be dinner this evening. And that turned out absolutely amazing. And yes, I do have hot plates, or hot pads. It browned so nice by adding that egg wash. So there is our dinner. Quick and easy. And yes, I cheated and just used frozen pie crust today. I was in a hurry. So anyway, that is all I have today. I try to answer any questions or comments if you leave them. Again, anytime that you're working in the kitchen, I always say, follow the USDA guidelines, whether it's preserving, cooking, uh, dehydrating. I do dehydrate a lot. Yeah, but there's some carrots that I dehydrated. I have done several videos on online where I was dehydrating, but I always follow the USDA guidelines, and I think I just did some live streams where I was canning chicken, then canning pork, and then canning beef. And of course I followed all of the USDA guidelines. So always do your research. I picked up the ball books, and they normally upgrade them every so often. It's beautiful. I've always been a good cook, but I can't get around anyone to cook. So I won't be making any of these recipes probably. All you have to do is just enjoy your kitchen and come in and have fun. I enjoy my kitchen every day. And my kitchen's being remodeled. So I have half of the kitchen remodeled. My beautiful island is in. And you can see over there, I have one of the matching cabinets. And my husband got my island set, which I absolutely love. The hickory. And then we got the one tall cabinet over here. And then this half over here has got all the new cabinets in. There's a new cabinet, one of them there. But when you look behind me, all of this needs to come out. So we got to this point. Of course, I have the new range. I have the new exhaust hood, the new sink, the new dishwasher, and the new refrigerator. So all the appliances are new, and the new stainless steel one bowl sink. But the cabinets here behind me and counters, my husband held on that because we were heading into the holiday when we started remodeling. And then we purchased some property, and we're getting ready to move the mobile home to the new property. So everything was just put on hold. So this half is unfinished. It needs remodeled. This half over here has the new cabinets are in. And every time I think about, I can't wait for my kitchen to be done, I just come over and look at my beautiful island that my husband has got me. And I absolutely, positively love it. So I just tell myself it's all eventually going to look like this. But I love recipe books. Good recipes. I collect recipe books. I really do. And I've got several of the Mennonite recipe books because that's what my grandmother was. She was a Mennonite. And her recipes, were so great. You are blessed to have a good husband. Oh, he is amazing. And, we're both disabled now, so we just take our time. And when it comes to stuff like this, my husband has friends that'll come in, and they'll be removing all of this, and then helping him. He'll be supervisor. Right now, he makes a good supervisor. And he had his own business for over 30 years, and he is a very talented carpenter. And he had his own business. He built homes from the ground up. He was a certified electrician. He was a certified plumber. So now he makes a very good supervisor. So he can go in and look at a room, and he knows exactly what he wants. And now his friends come in and he says, I want you to remove this and this, and then we're going to replace it with this and this. So we also wait for the people that are able to come and help us because my husband and I really are not able to do it anymore. But we do make good supervisors. And even though my kitchen is only half remodeled, I enjoy my kitchen. And sometimes it's a little frustrating because some of the extra counter spaces and things that I have is now gone, so I'm a little bit limited for right now. But I keep looking at the picture, the future, and enjoying my kitchen daily. So, enjoy your kitchen and have fun, even if it's not completely remodeled, only half remodeled. You can still enjoy your kitchen. And you can go in and bake a chicken pot pie for dinner. That's what we did today. So, enjoy your kitchen and have fun. And I think that's all I have today. I did want to show you the new bottles that come in, and I was so excited. They went on sale, and I was so excited. I waited for over a year for these to drop in price, and now we will be making our own vanilla extract. I'm waiting for the vanilla beans to come in. They've been ordered, so we're going to be doing a live on that, and these came as a in a set of 8. It has 2 of the disposable funnels, 1 blue, 1 red. It came with 12 labels. It came with a white marker label writer. It came with 2 of these pour spouts. And it came with 8 replacement rubber seals. So I was so excited to show you that today while we were waiting for the chicken pot pie to bake. And that came in a set of 8. And that was just delivered yesterday. And the coffee beans I'm waiting on. So when that comes in, we will be putting together some vanilla extract. Then we talked about the fermenting that I'm trying. And I was asked about the honey and what honey did I use. So I brought that out today. And we went over that. And I wanted to make sure that I did state that you need 100% raw and unfiltered honey. So I went over my little fermenting that I started. Today's day 3. And this is the garlic and honey, and you can look that up and do your own research. You definitely deserve a new kitchen. Oh, well, thank you. It's getting there, and I'm just being patient, and I'm enjoying my kitchen every day. So anyway, that is all I have for you today, and I've been on here for probably an hour and 45 minutes, and this is take 2. I started my first live stream, and it just shut down. It said no. So apparently I wasn't ready. And I had to come back in and reset a live stream and just go live again. And I couldn't post that I was coming back on. So this is take 2. But everything went great. We did get the chicken pot pie made. And this will be dinner this evening. And I made my husband a carrot cake, so he has carrot cake for dinner. He has homemade sourdough bread and regular homemade sandwich bread, white sandwich bread. I didn't make any rolls, and that's going to be our quick dinner this evening, and that is, I think, all I have today. So I'm going to hop off of here, and I know I'm going to need to rewarm my coffee. I need to rewarm it every day. Yeah, it's definitely going to need a rewarm. But this is Sunday. I'm waiting for everything to dry up. Hubby is already up on the new property, and I think they were going to head that way. And there was a gentleman that was going to go up there and help on the property today, because there's a lot of work to be done on the new property. So he volunteered to go up today, and my husband's going to supervise, and I'm going to go up here in a little bit just to make sure my husband is only supervising. And I wanted to wait for the grass and everything to dry up, because I have the 2 Maltese that go with me when I go to the new property, and I wanted it to be dry. And that way I know they're not getting in the wet. Well, I don't really have grass. At this point, I've got a lot of logs, a lot of treetops, a lot of dirt, and a lot of logs, and a lot of trees, a lot of tree tops, and a lot of leaves. And I want to make sure things are dry. So I'm so excited over the new property. We're going to get moved out of this mobile home park. We've been here for going on 13 years, and I'm ready to go have our own property and not have all of the neighbors and the noise. But it is a very nice mobile home park. It is very well ran and maintained, and the owner is that they just sold it, but the owner that we had up until the recent sale was very particular, and if you didn't follow the rules, that you didn't stay in the trailer park. And it is so quiet, even though it's a trailer park. I have a large deck, and I'll go out and sit on my gazebo on the deck, and you very seldom ever hear anybody. So the only thing that we really hear is people getting in and out of their vehicles, or vehicles coming in and out. It's very quiet. It's very well maintained. Everybody's yards, and I mean, it is an amazing, amazing mobile home park. So we were blessed. We were very blessed with that. But it's time to move on and to get our own property, because we are at retirement, and it's time to sit on our rocking chairs together. And that was what we promised each other, that we were going to have a set of rocking chairs, and we were going to sit on the porch. We were going to enjoy our retirement, and that's what we're getting ready to do with this new move to the new property. And we already have the rocking chairs, so it's time for us to move on to that stage, because I'm not getting any younger, and I have to keep telling myself that. And now we are both disabled, so we do our best, and we're just taking our time. So yeah, one half of my kitchen is not remodeled, and one half is partially remodeled, but we make it work. And one day all of this will be this beautiful natural hickory that my new island has, and I cannot wait. And we do have some of the cabinets in. There's one on that side. You can see right there. So partially remodeled, but I'm very happy. I'm happy to get up every morning to be able to enjoy another day, with my husband, with my family, and to come on here and say hi to you and enjoy sharing recipes, and just coming on and interacting and passing on some of the recipes from my grandmother and my mother. I call her my mom. She's my mom. She will always be my mom. Has been my mom since I was 3, even though she is my older sister. And when my mother passed when I was 3, she took myself and my 4 other siblings in and raised us at 18 years old with a new infant. And so she had 3, and then took all 5 of us, and then her and Dad, and turned her home into 10 people in her home. And I was so blessed. And she's an amazing, amazing woman. She's so talented, and she's a saint. I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she did it. But I want to try and pass on some of the things that I have been blessed with. And when I bake and I cook, I do it with love. And that's the way I was taught. When my Mennonite grandmother was baking and cooking, you could feel the love. When you walked into her home, it smelled like a bakery, and you just felt this warmth and love. And that's what I want to pass on. And I want that to be there for my daughter, for my grandchildren, my great-granddaughter now, and to everybody that comes on and enjoys my channel and watches my channel. And I want to thank everybody, because you're always so patient with me. You're always so kind. So I want to thank you for that. And I hope you're enjoying my videos. And the next one is here soon. It's going to be making our own vanilla extract as soon as the beans get here, because now we received our bottles. They came yesterday. So we did get our chicken pot pie made. It turned out amazing. And I am going to hop off of here, warm my coffee up. That is our dinner for this evening. So when we come in from the property, all I have to do is warm it up. And we have fresh homemade chicken pot pie. That's what I did this morning. And I've got homemade butter from yesterday to put on the homemade sourdough bread. And we will have dinner. And then I made his carrot cake for dessert. So I'm going to hop off of here and I'm going to get my day started. I'm going to get some coffee in me. The grass is going to be in leaves and dirt. It's going to be drying up soon and I can go up to the property. And I'll be spending the day at the property. And then when we come home, we'll have everything ready for dinner. So thank you for joining me. And again, I need to warm this coffee up. And I need to get everything kitchen-wise cleaned back up. So when I come back today, everything will be done. I'll have an easy, quick dinner. And I want to thank you for joining me while I was doing this morning. So anyway, I will see you the next time. I would love to hear your chicken pot pie recipe. I just made this. You wanted to hear my chicken pot pie recipe. I just made this today. So if you go back to the beginning of my live stream, you'll see me putting this chicken pot pie together, and I cheated. This is frozen pie crust on the top and bottom. I didn't make homemade pie crust today. I was in a hurry and I had some in the freezer and I put a homemade chicken pot pie together. But if you go back to the beginning, you will see everything that I did in putting this together, and then I just took it out of the oven. So, and then natural wood. Yes, this is a natural hickory. I have to know how you made that chicken pot pie. Go back to the beginning, and yeah, go back to the beginning. You'll see me put that chicken pot pie together. And this is a natural oak, or a natural hickory. And that's what we decided to go with. And of course, I got my flooring. The new flooring is down. And we got the island set. So pretty soon, when we get done, all of this behind me will be natural hickory. I have that wood in my kitchen too. Do you like it? I like it. I think it brightens everything up. And these are mobile home cabinets. And they are small, if you've ever lived in a mobile home. That compared to one of these, this door size is so much bigger and longer. I mean, these are tiny in height. So I'm going to have not only the same amount of cabinets, but they're going to be taller and a lot bigger. So it's going to give me so much more room once all this is done. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hop off of here and get my kitchen cleaned up, get me some hot coffee, and then I'm going to go up to the property and make sure that hubby's supervising as his helpers are up there working on getting some wood cut and moved around today. So thank you for coming in today. Thank you for your kindness. And if you haven't yet, like and subscribe. Thank you, honey. Oh, well, thank you. Like and subscribe to my channel if you like this kind of thing. And you never know what I'm going to be doing. I may be dehydrating. I may be fermenting. I may be grinding wheat berries. I may be baking. You never know what I'm going to be doing, but I'm always doing something. I got to do something daily. So I just bring you along for that. So hopefully you'll like my channel. And yes, I also do have I named this Real Paranormal because there is a reason for that. If you go back to my paranormal part of my channel, which was the main reason that I started the channel, was to also teach. It's a learning and teaching part of this channel, and that's what I started my channel with. And so if you want to go into the paranormal part of it, you can go back and look at that, and how I warn people, what they should not be, doing and addressing as far as the paranormal, trying to be as honest as I can be. And believe me, I've been doing a lot of research. I have a lot of equipment. So if you want to see that part of my channel, I also am doing, that's the main part of my channel, is paranormal. And then, of course, I do this daily, and my daughter encouraged me to come on and start doing some live streams, and that way she would have it for when she's cooking and baking, and she absolutely loves it, and she's excited that I'm doing this. So, sweetheart, if you're watching this is for you, babe. Mama's doing it, so I'm a little awkward, but I'm getting it done. So anyway, until next time, bye-bye, everyone. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your family and friends, if you have family and friends. If you're home alone, turn on a channel if you enjoy baking, or watch a good movie, or just go out and sit on your rocking chair or on your deck and just, get some sunshine and enjoy nature a little bit outside if you can, and make your day a little brighter. We need to see a little more kindness today in the world, and so please be kind to one another. We need to see more of that, and hey, it's free. Kindness is free, but one little act of kindness that you show today could make all of the difference in the world to someone that maybe is not able to get out and do something. And maybe you've done some small act, or even said something, or even waved at them. So always try to find a little bit of kindness and spread that. We need to see more of that. I know things are hard right now. Prices are high, and it's easy to get overwhelmed. But if you can, try to stop for at least a minute and be kind. Be kind today. So anyway, I'll see you the next time. And bye-bye, everyone. Again, enjoy your kitchen. Don't be afraid to come in your kitchen. Try new things and have fun. I always have fun in my kitchen. And, well, that's still a little bit warm. I'll hold it like that. And look, we made a beautiful chicken pot pie. So, thank you for joining me. And I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye, everybody. You have an absolutely wonderful day. Enjoy your Sunday. Bye-bye. Hey, sweetheart. Hey, baby. What you